I give you now Professor Twist, a conscientious scientist. Trustees exclaimed he never bungles, and sent him off to distant jungles. Camped by a tropic riverside, one day he missed his loving bride. She had, the guide informed him later, been eaten by an alligator. Professor Twist could not but smile. He said, "You mean a crocodile."
Let me die drunken with the dreamer's wine. Let me not see this soul house built of mud go toppling into the dust, a vacant shrine. Let me go quickly, like a candlelight, snuffed out into the heyday of its glow. Give me high noon, and let it be night. Thus would I go. And grant that when I face the grisly thing, my song may trumpet down the grave perhaps. Let me be as a tune-swept fiddle string that feels the master melody and snaps.
I've got the giggles today. Everything's making me laugh. Once in a while I like a good smile, but today I'm too tickled by half. Oh, don't think it's anything personal, please. But you really do look a fool on your knees. I see it was rude of me now, but I suddenly thought of a cow. Well, a rather nice calf. Oh, don't make me laugh. I've got the giggles today.
Miss Mary took her favorite car and drove it very fast and far. Wherever dangerous corners are, the little monster snorted. A constable his hand inclined, but Mary bumped him from behind. And when he sought to speak his mind, she smilingly retorted,
I've got the giggles today. Surely you understand that. Doesn't life seem to be rather a scream? How can you stand there in that hat? I noticed your signal. I thought I should burst. You look just like a statue of Edward I. From the moment I saw you, I shook. You don't know how funny you look. Oh, don't be a dean. You know what I mean. I've got the giggles today.
Poor Mary, as the years flew past, the mirth grew more ill-timed and vast. But Albert stuck it to the last and led her to the altar. And when the parson spoke the words that all young maidens know, she quivered like a jelly-o, and this is what she uttered.
I've got the giggles today. Oh, this is really too funny to miss. Mother in tears. How many years has Mother been waiting for this? I've only just noticed Albert is fat. And why do the clergy wear collars like that? Oh, hold me or else I shall fall. I shall never be married at all. Obey, did you say? Please take me away. I've got the giggles today.
Poor Mary's married life was short, a rumpus of a painful sort, and when they questioned in the court her matrimonial fitness, the lawyer sought to pry exactly as to what and why she'd done. This most unsuitable reply was uttered by Alice.
I've got the giggles today. And you're such a master of chaff. I cannot recall what has happened at all because you are making me laugh. Oh, why do you wear those ridiculous bibs? I'm going home because it's hurting my ribs. Of course, you were born at the bar. You don't know how funny you are. Some other time, we'll chat about crime, but I've got the giggles today.
There is a limit. And I speak of Miss Duveen. I'm not a jealous woman, but I can't see what he sees in her. I can't see what he sees in her. I can't see what he sees in her. If she was something striking, I could understand the liking, and I wouldn't have a word to say to that. But I can't see why he's fond of that objectionable blonde, that fluffy little, stuffy little, flashy little, trashy little, creepy, crawly, music-holly, horrid little cat.
I wouldn't say a word against the girl. Be sure of that. It's not the creature's fault. She has the manners of a rat. Her dresses may be dowdy, but her hair is always new. And if she squints a little bit, well, many people do.
I'm not a jealous woman, but I can't see what he sees in her. I can't see what he sees in her. I can't see what he sees in her. He's absolutely free. There's no bitterness in me. Though an ordinary woman would explode. I'd really like to know what he sees in such a crow as that.
I wish I owned a Molyneux dress, made to my order, out of satin. I wish I weighed a little less and could read Latin. Had perfect pitch, matching pearls, a better head for street directions, and 7 daughters, all with curls and fair complexions. I wish I tanned instead of burned. But most, on all the stars that glisten, I wish when I'm at a party, I could learn to sit and listen. I wish I didn't talk so much at parties. It isn't that I want to hear my voice assaulting every ear, uprising loud and firm and clear above the cocktail clatter. It's simply, well, once the doorbell's rung, I've been like this since I was young. Some madness overtakes my tongue and I begin to chatter. Buffets, balls, banquets, quilting bees, whenever conversation's flowing. Why do I feel that it falls on me to keep things going? Though ladies, cleverer than I, can loll in silence, soft and idle. Whatever conversations gallops by, I seize its bridle, hold forth on art, dissect the stage, or babble like a kindergartner on politics until I enrage my dinner partner. I wish I didn't talk so much at parties. When hotly boil the arguments, ah, would I the common sense to sit demurely on a fence and let who will be vocal, instead of plunging in the fray with my opinions on display till all the gentlemen edge away to catch an early loco. I wish that I could sleep till noon, or play the fiddle, or dance a tour jeté so light it wouldn't bring a single straw down. But when I think last night of how I laid the law down, I wish I didn't talk so much. I wish I didn't talk so much. I wish I didn't talk so much when I am at a party.
A debutante was sitting in the parlor of her flat. A nice young man upon her he was calling. They talked about the weather and the war and things like that, as people will for conversation stalling. The talk it all went merry quite, until the young man said, "I dreamed last night that you had gone away." The maid threw up her hand and stopped the young man dead, and unto him these words did say,
"Don't tell me what you dreamed last night. I must not hear you speak, for it might bring a crimson blush unto my maiden cheek. If I were you, that subject is a thing that I'd avoid. Don't tell me what you dreamt last night. I've been reading Freud."
Only pass the cream. Last night I dreamed that Fritzi Chef pursued me with a knife, and though I tried, I couldn't even scream. His wife put up her hand and said,
Oh, pray desist. To tell the rest of that might break my heart. The dream I fear is plain to any psychoanalyst.
and then she softly wept and said in part,
Don't tell me what you dreamt last night. I must not hear you speak, for it might bring crimson blush unto my maiden cheek. If I were you, that subject is a thing that I'd avoid. Don't tell me what you dreamt last night, for I've been reading Freud.
A message to the women, great and small. A definite appeal to those who still can feel that a life of shallow pleasure isn't all. I've a message for the housemaid and the duchess, whose feet are drowning near the abyss. You may bow your heads in shame, but you can't escape the blame. For the question I am asking you is this. What's going to happen to the children when there aren't any more grown-ups? The hand that rocked the cradle will no longer rule the world. When silver threads amongst the gold are permanently curled, who's going to hear their prayers at twilight or tuck the little darlings into their cots? If comfort, warmth, and nourishment cannot be guaranteed, it's very, very hard for any child to overfeed. If mother's in the bathroom being massaged by a Swede, what's going to happen to that tots?
I have a message for the mothers who are married. I have a message for the mothers who are not. I have a message for the many and the few who always strike the iron. When it's hot. I have a message for the ingenue of 40 who multiply their love affairs by 10. Who, though she looks a fool, still proves the ancient rule that a chicken should look older than the hen. What's going to happen to the children when there aren't any more grown-ups? The stately homes of England will look desolate and cold when Grandpa's so athletic that he's painful to behold. Who's going to telephone the doctor when baby's little face breaks out in spots? If Auntie's girlish figure is encased in rubber bands and father screams with passion when his diaphragm expands and mother is injected with the most peculiar glands, what's going to happen to the tots?
What's going to happen to the children when there aren't any more grown-ups? It's very hard on nature when she's made a lot of plans to have them all frustrated by a lot of Peter Pans. Who has the baby got to turn to when his underclothes get tangled up in nuts? One contemplates with nervousness, with horror, with dismay, the juvenile behavior of the parents of today, when mother's face is lifted till it's almost whisked away. What's going to happen to the tots?
It wouldn't be so bad if he confined himself to boring me. But I have found his manner so intensely deadening that, though I try with all my might and main to keep a grip upon what brain I have, his subtle anesthesia, as heavy as the scent of freesia, pervades the atmosphere. And I find that I not only bore him too, but by the gods I bore myself as well. And that is nothing short of hell.
The king of Astrakhan.
Sasha? Oh, Sasha, I've told her about it. You've got to tell Daphne about the king of Astrakhan.
Zuzu's favorites. Now, once upon a time, the king of Astrakhan was sitting on his throne, because his throne was very sad. And comfortably beside him, and magnificently stocked, was a lacquer-liquor-locker, which a liquor-lackey-locked. My boy, the king would often say in granulated voice, I think the 1640 is particularly choice. The lad would understand, and so endeavouring to please, would try his hand at fitting several likely locker keys. The king was always much annoyed because of this delay. So here, my lad, you've got to throw those other keys away. This minute, sir, and with the pox that pocked, he cursed the keys which didn't keep his liquor-locker locked. The little page did as he, the little lackey did as he was bid. Alas, the lack, he threw them all so far away that no one threw them back. A silly throw, as I can show, for he was simply shocked to find he lacked the very one that kept the liquor locked. Oh, sire, I threw them all away. Look here, my liquor lad. It's so fell I threw as well the one I wish I had. And since it was the kind of lock that isn't quickly picked, the liquor locker had the little lackey licked. Unhappy page. In such a rage, a king is hard to calm. A butt or ton of 51's the proper kind of bob. Oh, it's like my liquor lock. From randy down to bed, might as well be like an hour's liquor under here. Not the magic of the major, nor the wisdom of the wise could either find the key again, apply where it applies. The stricken king of Astrakhan, whom sickened unto death, who tasted not of bitters, but were most embittered. The little lackey lastly fell into a deep decline, and evil over all the land, a shrivel up the vine, and now the only vintages of Astrakhan are crocked in the liquor locker, which a liquor lock.
It was in the fresh air, and we went as we were, and we stayed as we were, which is hell. Poor Alice started singing at midnight and didn't stop singing till 4. We knew the excitement was bound to begin when Laura got blind under Bonnie and Jim and scratched her veneer with a Cartier.
I couldn't have liked it more. I've been to a marvelous party. I must say the fun was intense. We all had to do what the people we knew would be doing 100 years hence. Then Cecil arrived. Cecil, wearing armor, and some shells, and a black feather boa. And poor Millicent wore a surrealist comb made of bits of mosaic from St. Peter's in the Road. The weight was so great that she had to go home.
I couldn't have liked it more. People's behavior away from Belgravia would make you aghast. So much variety watching society's gathering past.
Well, if you've any mind at all, Gibbon's divine decline and fall seems pretty flimsy, no more than a whimsy, compared with Saturday last.
I've been to a marvelous party. We didn't start dinner till 10, and young Bobby Carr did a stunt at the bar with a lot of extraordinary. Dear Baba arrived with a turtle, which shattered us all to the core. The Grand Duke was dancing a foxtrot with me when suddenly Cyril screamed fiddle-dee-dee and ripped off his trousers and jumped in the sea.
I couldn't have liked it more. I've been to a marvelous
Party. Elsie made an entrance with me. You'd never have guessed from her fisherman's vest that her bust had been whittled away. Poor Lulu got fried on Chianti and talked about esprit de corps. Then Morris made a couple of passes at Gus. And Freddie, who likes no kind of fuss, did half the Big Apple and twisted his truss.
I couldn't have liked it more. I must say, I've been to a marvelous party. We played the most wonderful game. Maureen disappeared and came back in a beard, and we all had to guess as her name. And then we talked about growing old gracefully. And Elsie, who's 74, said,
A, it's a question of being sincere, and B, if you're supple, you've nothing to fear.
that's when we swung upside down to the glass chandelier. I could see last night that people were beginning to think I drink or something. Then Mr. Simpkins told me that if it wasn't for embarrassing my wife still further, he'd kick me into the street. Oh, well, I said to him, don't you worry about my wife. You go and get your own wife fixed so she doesn't look so much like a slot machine and we shot after the word.
Pack up all my cares and woe. Here I go, singing low. Bye, bye, blackbird.
Where somebody waits for me, sugar sweet, so is she. Bye, bye, blackbird. No one here can love or understand me. Oh, what hard luck stories they all hand me. So make my bed and light the light. I'll arrive late tonight. Blackbird, bye-bye.
My candle burns at both ends. It will not last the night. But oh, my friends and oh, my foes, it sheds a lovely light.